Hey, welcome back, guys. So our first night out with the car, performance-wise, the car ran really well. There's the cat. She's out here helping me out. Um, Pretty disappointing night overall because we got black flagged in the heat race. Started in the back, came up through the field quite nicely. Was passing the leader for the lead, and we both went into the corner side by side, and it must have been wet and slick on the bottom. I left off the gas, turned the wheel, and nothing happened. The car just slid right and slid up into him, and he went off track. He's okay and everything, but um, it was really disappointing. Not too happy with how things turned out. You know, especially for that guy. He's a good racer. He's a clean racer. I've watched him for a few weeks, and him and his brother, they got really fast cars, and hate to see the night end like that. But was going to go over and talk to them, but um, decided not to. There was a big gaggle of people over there, and it could have just gotten real ugly at the track. So just kind of let that go. We just packed up and came home, and of course, being that it's a local race, we had one guy. He's sending threats to me online, and I just deleted a comment, and I'm not going to respond to it. So um, they can they can uh, they can talk if they want to. I understand their frustration. I'd probably feel a little frustrated myself. So um, yeah, we're not going to get into into any online shenanigans. It's not how we do things. So I will talk to those guys eventually, and just try and explain everything and what all happened, and we'll go from there. So, like I said, we had some suspension damage. Replaced the tie rods on this side, and looks like we got a bad wheel bearing here too. Whenever you mount the tire, you can grab hold of the tire and wiggle it. It's not the lower ball joint. It's definitely the wheel bearing. So that has to be replaced. That's a given. So the strut might be bent here. I don't think it is, but you can see some tire rub from years past where I had too much camera in the car, and we had a real big tire on it, and it was rubbing. So I probably should touch it up with a little bit of paint. But that's from years past. But you notice the red paint here. We gained some camber on this because this was knocked in, and you can see where it was shiny, where the bolt had moved, and it left a little shiny spot. So we brought it back to where it's supposed to be, tightened it down real good, and then you see the red paint on here. Looks a little ghetto, but we're going to use that to help set the alignment on the car again, because I'm going to pull this. I want to pull this strut off, and and probably change this right front spring of a stiffer spring we're going to throw on it. But and I want to be able to put it back exactly where it was, and then we'll set the toe and all that stuff. So whenever you're doing these cars, these Cavaliers, you always, you set your camber first, and then set the car on the ground. You roll it forward, roll back about one roll of the tire, bring it back, and then you check your toe. After that, you jack it up, you adjust your toe here, and then you drop it down and you roll forward and roll back again. Now, why would we roll it forward and back after we set it on the ground? Well, that's real simple. Whenever you have the car in the air and the suspension's dangling like this, you set it down, and the tire's going to grab hold, and it won't let the tire roll into its proper camber sometimes. So by rolling the car forward and rolling it back, and then centering it up, it allows that tire to scrub a little bit, and it allows the camber to set. So then we check the toe again, and we repeat the process until we get the toe exactly where we want it. So this looks pretty cheesy having that on there, but I'm thinking that the contrasting, with the dark strut there and the bright paint, if this moves or if this is out of place, I'm going to be able to see that really easy. So we sprayed that paint on there last night. We're going to give it 24 hours to cure completely, and then we're going to go from there. And you can see where, again, this is from years past where I had to clearance the strut a little bit to get the you know, the rim to clear, because this is cambered in. But we don't have to do that anymore because we're not running so much camber. Actually, you know, tested that a little bit, and we saw some uneven wear on the front tires, where the inside of the tire was wearing, you know, quite a bit, and then the outside wasn't wearing very much. So we run a relatively high pressure on this right front to keep the tire from rolling off the rim, and that means we can actually stand the tire up a little bit. And I'm not sure what the camber gain is on this corner. That's something that we may want to look at, but and from there, that'll help us set the proper camber here. But it's a process. It's a long process, and it's very tedious. But basically, what you do is each week you change one thing, and then you go and you run it. And being that it's dirt track racing, because the track changes from week to week, usually I'll run it about 2 weeks, unless it's like crazy off. And then we'll come back, we'll reset that. But you know, that would be the wrong direction. We'll go back and we change one other thing, and then we'd go and would run the car again. So that's the way racing is. It's just sort of a lot of trial and error. But eventually you get the car to where it'll run the way you want it, and it'll be fast. And one thing's for sure, this car is set up for a short track, and for that, the track that we ran at was a half mile, and my GoPro battery died, which I'm not too happy about that. But you know, you can only see like first couple laps of the race. Actually, the lens gets covered right before the battery dies, so there's not much to see with the video, but you get to see a little bit of it if you're coming here from that video. But a little disappointed there. I had charged it the week before and thought it would be okay, but in that week the battery lost its charge, so I probably need to get a new battery. But anyway, we're going to be off a couple weeks. We have to decide whether we're going to switch the transmission and go short track racing, or whether we're going to change the setup and go with the longer track. What I noticed is, going into the corner, you could go in and you could hold a line. It was fine. You know, it was okay. It wanted to turn, but I could drive around that. That wasn't that hard to do. But I noticed in the hot laps, if you went in the corner in the middle or on the high side, the car just wanted to just drive to the bottom and kept driving off the bottom of the corner. So it's pretty obvious that that this is set up for a short track. It really wants to turn. So we're going to take some of that out of the car, and we'll get it where we can go round and round nice and smooth. So in the meantime, I've been in contact with the track, so told them that I do want to come back and do want to race. The guy who told me I was getting parked for the night, he was very professional. You could tell he was upset, and understandably so. But he was very professional about everything, so I got to hand it to those guys. And we got the cat helping us out here. There you go. So so this is all part of racing, and we'll get through it, and we'll get the car back together and get it out on track. And the next video we'll explain, you know, where we're going and what we're doing. So thanks for watching, and go ahead and like and subscribe. See you next time.